in a revelation that has sent shockwaves through the corridors of Whitehall and raised serious concerns about data protection and government transparency, it has now come to light that the UK government quietly established a confidential Afghan relocation scheme, concealed from the public until now, after the personal data of nearly 19,000 Afghan nationals was accidentally leaked. The breach originated in February 2022, when a British Ministry of Defence official mistakenly released a sensitive dataset. That file included the names, contact details and personal information of thousands of Afghans who had applied to relocate to the UK under asylum and resettlement programs. These individuals were primarily applicants under schemes designed to assist those who had supported British forces or were otherwise at risk following the Taliban's return to power in August 2021. However, the government didn't become aware of the breach until August 2023, when portions of the data were anonymously posted to Facebook, exposing an unthinkable lapse in security. For those whose names appeared on that list, the leak was potentially life-threatening. These were individuals who had either cooperated with UK and NATO forces or who were already facing persecution under the Taliban regime. With their identities and UK affiliations now compromised, the very people Britain had promised to protect were at risk of Taliban reprisal.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to make a statement on a significant data protection breach from February 2022 relating to the Afghan Relocations and Assistance Policy. This led to the High Court granting an unprecedented super injunction and the previous government establishing a secret Afghan resettlement route. Today, I'm announcing to the House a change in government policy. I'm closing this resettlement route, I'm disclosing the data loss, and I'm confirming that the court order was lifted at 12 noon today. Members of this House, including you, Mr. Speaker, and myself, have been subject to this super injunction. It is unprecedented.
This security nightmare prompted the UK government to act. In April 2024, the Afghan Response Route was launched, a top-secret relocation initiative designed specifically to assist those affected by the data breach. The goal was clear: to urgently extract and resettle the compromised individuals as discreetly and securely as possible. Until now, however, the public had no knowledge of this operation. The existence of the Afghan Response Route was kept hidden from both Parliament and the press under a legal injunction issued by the British High Court on grounds of national security and the safety of those involved. But on Tuesday, following legal pressure from journalists and human rights organisations, the High Court lifted the injunction, allowing details of the secret scheme to be published for the first time. The decision underscores a growing call for greater transparency and accountability around UK asylum policy, particularly in relation to Afghan allies who were promised refuge during the chaotic withdrawal from Kabul. Critics are already asking pointed questions. Why did it take 6 months for the MOD to recognise the breach? Why was the response so delayed? And most troubling of all, why was the response kept secret while vulnerable Afghans remained in hiding, fearing for their lives? In the aftermath of the Taliban's return to power, thousands of Afghans rushed to apply for UK resettlement programs like ARAP, the Afghan Relocations and Assistance Policy, and ACRS, the Afghan Citizens Resettlement Scheme. Many applicants were former interpreters, embassy workers, NGO staff, and human rights defenders. But the vetting process was slow, and bureaucratic delays left thousands stranded in Afghanistan or neighbouring countries. Now, with this data breach exposed, there's a renewed urgency to understand how safe these applicants truly are, and whether the British government has done enough to uphold its moral and legal obligations. The Afghan Response Route, while commendable in its intent, is also a sobering admission of failure, a reactive policy born from negligence rather than foresight. It highlights not only the risks that come from mishandling sensitive data, but also the devastating human cost when bureaucracies falter in a time of moral crisis. As more details emerge, pressure is likely to mount on both the Ministry of Defence and the Home Office to explain what went wrong, how many lives were endangered, and how the government plans to ensure that such a failure never happens again.